Well, folks, Chris Christie, the former governor of New Jersey, is officially in the presidential race on the Republican side, and he's got an uphill battle ahead of him, not going to lie. He has to get 40,000 individual donors in order to make it onto that first debate stage, and of course, be polling above 1% in, I think, at least 3 national polls. So he's got a lot of work to do. When he last ran for president, he did not do a good job of attracting individual small donors, so he may not make it on that debate stage, which to me would be the most disappointing thing ever. But there's one person that's hoping for that. And that one person, of course, is Donald Trump. Former New Jersey Governor Christine Todd Whitman actually went on MSNBC this week to explain why Donald Trump is absolutely so afraid of Chris Christie. Here's part of what she had to say. I think with all the candidates in there, in fact, they might make it easier for Donald Trump to win. Of course, getting on the debate stage, one thing Donald Trump absolutely commands is the internal political working of the National Committee and the apparatus. He'll do everything he can to keep Chris Christie off the debate stage. So what she's trying to say there, of course, is that Donald Trump is going to try and wheel and deal with the RNC behind the scenes to increase the standards that a candidate needs to meet in order to get on the debate stage. Now, Trump himself has already said he's not going to do the debates. So I don't necessarily agree with her on that. I do agree that Donald Trump doesn't want Chris Christie on that stage. Donald Trump does not want Chris Christie getting any national attention because he remembers what Chris Christie did to Marco Rubio back in 2015 during the debates. Oh, and by the way, so does Marco Rubio. Yesterday evening, Marco Rubio sent out the following tweet, and I'm sorry, it's so funny. I have to read this because he's such an idiot. Marco Rubio sends out this tweet and absolutely gets hammered for it. He says, any political reporter, commenter, claiming Chris Christie ended my campaign in 2016 is lazy or dumb. New Hampshire debate sucked because instead of hitting back when attacked like I wanted to, I listened to advice about pivoting and not punching down on a Chris Christie who was at 7% and about to drop out, but he didn't end my campaign. Yes, he did. You wouldn't be out there saying that if he hadn't done that. You never recovered after Chris Christie destroyed you on that stage. And that, of course, is what Donald Trump is afraid of. Not because he thinks Chris Christie is going to throw him off track, but because Chris Christie is a bully and Trump is a bully. And the only way to fight a bully is to actually fight back against them, something Marco Rubio learned the hard way. But Donald Trump is not good at fighting back against people who are actually good fighters. We saw that in the Democratic debate. You know, love him or hate him, President Biden in the 2020 debates did not perform badly. He actually did a pretty good job holding his own against Donald Trump and calling out Donald Trump. So Chris Christie could do the same thing, and that could hurt Trump. But Whitman, as I mentioned earlier, does make another good point about the fact that an overly crowded field definitely does benefit Donald Trump because it dilutes the vote among the normal Republicans, leaving the MAGA freaks with the primary power to make Donald Trump the winner. And of course, this week, not only did we officially get Chris Christie, but we also got Mike Pence. So there's a little bit more dilution in that normal Republican vote. But I know Chris Christie doesn't have a chance. I don't want him to have a chance. I don't want him to be president. But I do want him on that debate stage. I do want to watch Chris Christie do what Chris Christie does on debate stages, because that may be the only joy we get out of this Republican primary.
This is Hattie. Hattie wants to know why you have not subscribed to our channel. You obviously like our videos, so do us a favor and subscribe.